What's up, YouTube? Who Had Comics Man here, and we got this
Boston
guy.
Chris.
Yes, sir. So this is episode 11, man. We're like past 10 now. I didn't think you know, it's been a fun adventure. I have to let everybody know with graphic content. We're always open to have guests because we're just basically talking comics, movie, pop culture, and anything that's kind of been like hit our radar. We might not hit the stuff that's popular in the news, like on your tracks, but this is the stuff that kind of hit our radar and stuff that kind of pop in our minds.
Yeah.
Um, so That's what's going on tonight. Tonight I'm gonna have a little unboxing. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I have a little unboxing. Just to let you guys know what's popping tonight. We'll talk about Blue Beetle's numbers and what it kind of tell sign about that. Might touch on Barbie numbers and how it's still like killing it. Um, and a few other things. So yes, just and probably talk about our collective goals going towards the end of the year because I think that's going to be something to see what we're leading into. Um, so because I actually got another book off the list, but guess what? You guys are not going to see it. So Chris, what's going on, man? What kind of popped on your radar? I know you was talking. You told me earlier about Blue Beetle. So
Yeah.
what's been going on with that? Because I enjoyed the movie. I actually will tell people to go see it. It
hmm
wasn't the best thing DC has done, but I enjoyed it. Um, and
Wow.
that's as
I
far as I
mean,
can say about it.
from
It's
from what I saw last week, man, it was just so much. Um, I guess like Beetle Fest. Like people were just, oh, 10 out of 10. It's the best. It's and they just praise after praise after praise. And basically, it seemed like all the people that were just like super like, just gushing about the movie were basically begging people to go see it. So I was like, it kind of went beyond the normal, I would say, oh, this movie's great type situation. It went to like, please, like that's what I kind of got from it was like, please see it. It's 10 out of 10. There's nothing been better. It's the best movie that's happened. Oh, it's the best hero movie this year, and all the rest of this type of stuff. And it's clearly, I would say underperforming as far as the amount of money that it's made for something that's supposed to be so like acclaimed. And when looking at it, I mean, the opening weekend, everybody saw that the initial first numbers was 25 million is what it made for the opening weekend, so that's not good. But you know kind of keep going. We got past last weekend, and as it stands right now, um, it looks like worldwide it's made $84 million, a little more than 84,419,000 dollars. So just to
mm,
put that in perspective for everybody, um, the budget for the movie was 104 million, and when it comes to movies, you basically need to double your money to break even.
yeah. Well,
So
and then every time people always forget, and I always try to throw it in there when I think about it. Like you said, the budget was 104. That doesn't
yeah,
include marketing, and marketing is usually 50% at least of what the budget. So you're looking at $154 million, and the budget
yeah,
probably was actually higher than that because if you notice, it's been on like commercials with State Farm. I think. Have you seen the
yeah,
State Farm?
um,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
three.
So they paid a lot of money for marketing for this movie.
But I mean, one of the really interesting things that I saw was that outside of the US, like it's just like, like in Europe, it didn't really do a ton. It hasn't hit more than 3.5 million. So it's 3.5 million in England. That's the highest number from there. And then France, it's 2.77 million. Spain did 1.3, almost 1.4. And then everywhere else is under $1 million as far as Europe's concerned. Of course, Latin America did very well compared to Europe. $5 million in Mexico, 4.2 in Brazil, but that's it as far as those numbers there. And then Asia, it has yet to cracked 2 million in any actual spot. Highest is Indonesia at 1.7.
Yeah, was it? Did it
Malaysia
even
at
get?
1
It didn't
million.
even get a release date in China. I didn't hear
That's what I
anything
was
about it.
thinking. Yeah, because there's nothing in China. Like the only place I
Yeah.
saw, I guess like Hong Kong, which is nearby, but there's nothing for China or Japan. So
Yeah,
you know,
that and I think it's fallen down on the Flash, the Flash fiasco. That kind of what hurt Blue Beetle. Shout out a few people real quick. Expensive Paper, K-pop, and Geeky Dad in the building. So like to me, it's fallen on the sword of that, but also it's fallen on people don't realize that. What's up, Brian LCS? Check him out with the CBA
CBAs.
award. Appreciate all our nominees and good luck to the finalists. But
Yes.
yeah, like you know what it's falling down on, and you got to play the game. People don't like to play the game. You got to play the China game. You got to play the China game. But the reason why I say that because James Gunn probably won't like to hear this. But if Black Adam was released in China, that would have made probably like $800 million.
Yeah,
Chinese people and the Chinese not government. It's the Chinese people love The Rock. They love The Rock.
Yeah.
They love The Rock. A lot of his movies don't do as well, but when it gets to China, like all of a sudden it's a bigger movie. Like look at Jungle Book. Jungle Book was like the steadily going along, and that made almost not Jungle Cruise. Not Jungle. Yeah, I thought no, not Jungle.
That's The Rock was in Jungle Cruise. Jungle Book was that little boy.
What was the movie? Jumanji. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jumanji. Yeah.
Wrong J. It was Jumanji. So Jumanji, that movie was just clugging along. It wasn't like who thought it would have made almost $1 billion. The first one, it made $900 something million worldwide, and it was mainly because of China that made it a lot of money, and that's why I know if if Black Adam would have been in the Rock, maybe not 800 million, but let's say it was like 400 something million. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it would have at least cracked 600 to 700, probably close. It would be close in that realm because it made the most money out of all these DC properties. It's like, and James Gunn was banking on the Flash and then banking on Blue Beetle, and I hate to say it, Rock was kind of right, especially if he'd have got that Chinese release. So,
well, you know what's funny too is that the thing that I was kind of this is my own thought, and I can't say that this is 100% people's processes and thinking, but with the amount of people that were just saying how great it was and how big it was, I kind of got the feeling that that was their, I guess, way of trying to maybe go ahead and make Jaime Reyes the DC version of Miles. And it's just like, and it makes sense in a way if you kind of think about it. It does kind of make sense whether like, let's pump it up because, how many people have first appearance of Blue Beetle? Tons of them. And it's like, well, if we can do, and if you're trying to sell it or whatever, there's that. But just in general, like, I mean, the way I look at it is like this. If you're going to, if that was their process, it probably wasn't. But if it was, there's no universe in the entire multiverse of reality where Blue Beetle and Spider-Man are on the same plane ever. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how you do it. There's a reason that Miles Morales got, the spot that he got is because he was replacing Peter Parker as Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe. That's why he got put on that plateau. Nobody's ever cared about a Blue Beetle, ever.
And then isn't Jaime Reyes he need a third Blue Beetle? It's the third one, right?
Yeah. So it's like they in general it's like the original guy was from Charlton Comics. Then you had Ted Kord, and then Jaime Reyes, which he could be a cool character and everything else, but you're never gonna see him get to the height that Miles Morales did.
And this movie is kind of people. This is a stretch. What I'm about to say. This is like they say the first DC movie into their DC thing, but this is also the first movie that's not 100% Earth based.
Yeah,
because the Scarab is not from Earth; it's alien.
Nope.
And he flies above the Earth, like he literally goes to space. He literally goes to space for a few seconds, and so it's like
in the earth. They never
Yeah,
really left.
they kind of like pushed a little nugget or popped. What I want to say, like a little what they call it, a little. Yeah, it's kind of it's just weird how they kind of had it like done it because it's like we're gonna see if they kind of like this. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
you know why I think that they have, just because you got to remember the last movie that DC had made, or that DC had, where they had gone to space in any way, shape, and form. Well, actually, no. I guess you can kind of say, Batman vs Superman. They did, but the last one that they actually had like a bigger role within space was Green Lantern, and maybe they're trying to like just like, all right, gotta distance ourselves far. It's been long enough that no one's gonna bring up thinking, oh, DC Space Universe, Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds movie. Like, no, we're not gonna think about that. That's just what I think. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
and the funny thing about that movie,
Mhm.
space scenes were actually the best parts of that movie.
Yeah, yeah,
anytime he wasn't on Earth was actually the best parts of that movie. But yeah,
exactly.
but I do hope the best. Like I am a Marvel fan first, but I'm a movie fan above all, and
Yeah.
I do hope they kind of can fix what's going on and correct the you know trajectory of what's going on because
I think they can. I think the
yeah.
problem that happens is that it's hard to say because like you gamble on a lot of stuff. So you gamble that this is going to be a big deal, and whether it works out or it doesn't, that's always up to the gods. I guess you can sit there and say, okay, you know, people love this or people hate it. But the thing is that when it comes to this kind of character, it's a really tough sell just because you know when you have something like something like a Blue Beetle character where number one, it's not really that popular of a character to begin with. Like people know who Blue Beetle is, but like the regular run the mill person has no idea who. They're not even so much Jaime Reyes. They have no idea who Blue Beetle is. They could care less. He hasn't been on any I don't think he's really been in many cartoons or TV shows or any of that stuff. So he's such an obscure character that it's just like getting people to get out and like, oh, what the fuck's this Blue Beetle thing? Like, I don't care about this. And then I think that's really what they ran into is like, okay, this like if they had done, I mean, there's any number of characters that you could have done that would have, at least had something that kind of fit in. So be like, oh, okay, like people might not know a ton about Aquaman, but they know who Aquaman is. Like, oh, I know Aquaman. I remember that. Oh, I know.
And the character it's so funny about the character on screen. It's like to me he was a mixture of a lot of different characters.
Oh yeah,
And it was like he was a mixture of Green Lantern, Iron Man, and Ant Man.
yeah.
His actually storyline is exactly like Ant
Oh,
Man.
it's
Because I think I shared it in
yeah.
our little group chat, and somebody like
Mhm.
did the like Ant Man's just
Well,
starts off like that, and it was like Blue Beetle,
yeah.
and it was going
It
like
was
it was
funny how
this.
he did it because he was just basically saying like I love when it comes to a reluctant hero that needs to do this and this and that, and then like he basically says everything, and then he puts up a PowerPoint, I guess, and it just like shows everything else. Like yeah, he's like I guess I really like Ant-Man. It's just like I mean it's the same, and that's what I say to other people like, oh, it's 10 out of 10. So you must have really liked Ant-Man, huh? Because that's a same fucking movie. It really is. It's just different people. It's the
It's just
same
different
exact
people,
thing.
different properties. That's all.
Yeah,
It's different. So
but
yeah, it's funny how that, but honestly, I don't know. I'm not too sure about. I hate to say it. I'm not too sure about Superman. I'm not sure about the casting. But besides that, I'm not. I don't honestly. I people want they got the Matt Reeves Batman, but that's in a whole different universe, and who knows when we're gonna get the sequel. But I'd rather
yeah,
see the Batman side or even Wonder Woman, or I'd rather see something more in that side. I don't want to.
yeah.
I don't want to see another Superman yet. We have so many Supermans. People don't realize we've had. We had Henry Cavill. Then we had the Superman and Lois show.
Yep.
Uh, and then
Talking about Dean Cain.
he had the Infinity Crisis saga with the Flash and all that stuff. So he had that Superman, a whole bunch of different Supermans. So it's like, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really excited about Superman, and I hate to say that because I know James Gunn has been
It's not
doing
a
really
bad
good.
thing to say.
He's been doing really good stuff. It's just that I'm not excited for it at all. Like
But
no
the
nothing
problem with
excites me.
Superman is that Superman is he's pretty much a character that you know what you're getting from the get go, and the problem is like, so where do you go with that? Just because it's just like if you're gonna have like, you can't have him go beating up bank robbers and stuff just because that's not interesting. You have to have him go against all these big bads, like these big huge threats, and it's just like, well,
Yeah.
so I mean, you can do that, but the problem is that like eventually people are gonna be like, well, so nothing can stop him. So what's the difference? And then there's like, that's what people will say, because I have friends that actually say the exact same thing, where they're like, oh, like all the superhero movies are stupid. It's like they're just this unstoppable thing that nothing can beat, and so they win every time. It's just boring. And so I remember I said to my friend Mark, because he was saying that shit. And I'm like, so then you hate Rambo, don't you? And he's like, yes, it is. You have a just a highly trained guy that no matter who it is, what it is, or any of it, they cannot stop this man. This man just runs through everything, kills everything, and then survives every single time. He doesn't lose. I mean, even Rocky to an extent, he lost one match, and then the next match, he comes back.
He couldn't lose. He couldn't lose after that. He was unstoppable.
And the only reason
and in Fast and the Furious is like that too. Fast and the Furious is Fast and the Furious actually, and to go on the side of it, but that's actually become comical at this point because they started off as just regular street racing with Vin Diesel, who's like kind of a tough guy, but now it's like every movie after like I think the fifth one, it's like Vin Diesel has a new superpower. Every movie he's got a superpower. He lifts the car up like a superhuman at one point, so the guy could get underneath the car and do something. And you're like, what? What do you like? He not having a car.
In general, he's driving a car.
Some stuff is blowing up, and he's not dying.
No. Hey, look, I'm just saying. I'm just comparing to my friend. My friend was saying,
he's not talking shit about Rocky. He's talking about how
he was saying how basically superhero movies are boring and they're done because of the fact that you have these superpowered beings that just can't lose, no matter what. They always win, and it's boring. It's just boring to watch. I'm like, well, then I mean, so you don't like Rambo either, because Rambo, I mean, outside of like he's not superpowered, let's say, but let's put it this way. I mean, the man. So if you watch First Blood, like they cannot kill that man, no matter how they try. He falls out of it. He falls out of a helicopter into a tree. Then he comes and he gets to the ground. They shoot at him, and supposedly he gets hit. He's like, oh, and he throws a rock and kills the cop. And it's just like, he literally just goes through everything. And then, every movie he just goes through all this stuff, and he's perfectly cool. And then Rocky, the same deal. Rocky, like if you watch it again, Rocky. His only loss is to Clubber Lang, or his only actual legit loss that he had was to Clubber Lang, right? And the only reason he lost is because his head wasn't right, because his manager was dying. Other than that, when his head's on straight, he cannot lose. Clubber Lang, who literally would have killed him in the first fight, would have broke his neck because he didn't stop. He threw nothing but hooks. Nothing but hooks. He's the greatest boxer of all time. He throws hook after hook after hook. And the one where he looks at Rocky, and Rocky's standing there looking, and the one where he knocks him out, he would have broke his neck and killed him. Literally, he didn't do anything.
Not just that, Drago. Don't forget Drago. Drago literally killed.
I haven't even gotten the Drago. My theory is Rocky died in 3.
Yeah, but it's so funny. He didn't die in 3, but he didn't die in 4 either. When Drago literally killed his friend in an exhibition match, it wasn't even a real match.
And then and it's just like so then he trains. He's unstoppable. He beats up everybody. And then in the 5th one, when he actually has brain damage, like you can't fight anymore, you have brain damage. His young up and coming prospect that he's trained and everything, he fights him in a street fight, no rules. He fights him in a street fight and still beats the shit out of this guy. It's just like, what is going on here? And then he comes back.
Nobody comes back when he's 60.
He fights the young guy and he wins the title from him. It's just like, this dude does not, like, he's a superhero too. So it is what it is. Like that's I just wanted
to get back what you were saying about like the DC and Marvel stuff. The big and a lot of people have the issue with DC on this side. DC have more heroes that are gods that are trying to be human, and Marvel has more heroes that are humans who are trying to be gods.
Yeah,
because you could count them out. Like even Blue Beetle. That's an alien, like godlike. He's godlike. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Blue Beetle is godlike. You can say whatever you want. He's godlike. All it's Flash, a godlike. He could go through time. Superman. Come on, Superman. Original big power. he sneezed and blew away a galaxy.
Yeah.
He
Well, then
sneezed
you
and
have like
he blew
Aquaman.
away a galaxy. So he basically killed a galaxy.
Yeah. You got
Aquaman's
Aquaman, you got Wonder
unstoppable if he's
Woman.
in the water. If he's
Yeah.
up by water, he can't die.
Well, not even that. Even outside of the water, he's unstoppable. Like he's strong. He's strong enough to go toe to toe with Superman with no problem. Martian Manhunter, which I would love to see a Martian Manhunter movie or something with him in it, because I think he would be an incredible character to see on
Plastic
screen.
Man is actually stronger than Superman.
Well, he's. I don't think he's necessarily. Like he's literally just undefeatable. Like the only way you can stop him is to like try to melt him, and he'll come back from that. Or you freeze him, and once he gets out of that, he'll reform.
Yeah, let's say the only thing you really could do is freeze him, but you got to keep him frozen.
Yeah,
you got to keep him frozen.
And I mean, but that's the truth, and that's the problem with the DC. Or that's the problem with a lot of the DC characters is that like
that's why I
they're
kind of
so
like said I
powerful,
want to
they're
see another
unrelatable.
Batman. I'd rather see another Batman because at least it's like a human trying to do superhuman things, and
Yeah,
you
I
can
mean,
kind of
there's a lot of
explain
characters
that you could kind of explain that with tech and billions of dollars.
Yeah,
So it's like it's just funny. Like that's just my thoughts on the whole
I
aspect of
think I
those.
think a great I guess movie or series or something that they could do would be Justice League Dark, or like like the House of Secrets or something like that, where you have Constantine and all, like not, I wouldn't say necessarily the horror guys, but like the occult characters in the DC comics, like have that be a movie. That would be kind of a cool one to have, or a series. I think
It
like I said,
actually be good because you got to think about all these super scary movies actually do very well. So if you do
yeah,
like a hard PG-13 horror with Constantine, maybe not man thing, but Swamp
Swamp Thing and
Thing,
all them. Yeah,
and
that'd be a good series.
Zatanna and all those
Yeah,
and like you say, Justice League Dark, but don't even call it Justice League Dark. I wouldn't even want Justice League in it. Call it something with those characters without putting Justice League in it, because people will get thrown out. Like people who are not into comics will be like, "Oh, they got a Justice League movie," and they'll go out to see the movie, not seeing the trailer, and be like, "Where's Superman?"
right. Actually, you know what you could do? Honestly, I just thought about it right now. If you did just like a House of Secrets movie, and you did it kind of like, I want to say like an anthology series, kind of like like Twilight Zone, and it's just different stories about different occult, like, so you have Swamp Thing, constantly, all that different stuff, Etrigan, all those. If you did something like that, and then maybe had them come together at one point or another to actually do a movie later on, that would be really cool, because it's just something that's different, something that like kind of gives you a little bit of a different feel, and people are like, oh wow, I never thought about this, I didn't know it, and that's what you could have it be. It's the House of Secrets, perfect. Almost like what was that show? Sandman. Like Sandman was good because Sandman was very different. And it's like if you give it a chance, you don't know what it's really about, and it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is very different from what I'm used to. And I think that's what some people would like.
They might not even have another season with that because of the writing strike and the actor strike.
Oh, that, like, I think everything's in trouble with the writer's strike. I don't care what it is. I think the writer's strike is really going to affect a lot of things going forward. That's why when it comes to the stuff you have now, it's like and I'll even say too, and I don't know, I mean, the Flash was done before the writer's strike, so you can't blame that for like, oh, the CGI was bad because this, or because of the writer's strike. Like it had nothing to do with that. But the problem
CGI was bad like 3 years ago for it, because that movie was done 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's just that you have
strikes. We could talk about that too, Geeky. Yes, the strike is still going on for the writers and the actors. So yeah, the strike. That's why if Geeky and to the rest of the people in the chat, if you realize they have movies that are coming out right now, what have you noticed one thing? The actors who are in on those movies are not advertising those movies. Nope. They have Equalizer 3 is coming. It comes out this weekend, I think.
Yeah, no, they had the guy that's Denzel Washington's. He does a voice impression of him. He's the one promoting the movie. I've seen it twice on Instagram.
Yeah, and guess what? Denzel's not promoting it. Not at all. Zero promotion from Denzel. Equalizer 3. It's a series that he likes doing because it's different and fun. So it's like he's doing no promotion for it. The only person that's doing promotion for it is the director, because they're not in strike. They actually reached an agreement, the producers and the directors. guild reached an agreement for their union.
So
So,
that sounds promising. If the producers and directors are kind of getting
but the
into
funny thing is, they had a their deal was like months ago. Like
Mm.
yeah, their deal's easy, but as actors
Yeah,
and
everything
writers that
else.
are kind of yeah, but yeah, Equalizer 3 is coming out, and you literally have zero promotion from Denzel or even the I forgot the actress who's in it who was in Man on Fire with him as a child. They
Oh
have
yeah,
zero promotion with those two, and that would have been perfect promotion. And you kind of can like said Equalizer was a spinoff of Man on Fire or something because
yeah,
she's a girl, like she's a little girl and he's older, and you'd be like, you
and
could have find out he survived or so. They could have did a whole bunch of play off of this with that
yeah,
with her being in this in the third series, but they can't. They can't do any promotion for
yeah.
it. So it's not. I hate to say it. Equalizer 3 is not going to make any money because they cannot do any promotion. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and the thing, it's been what, like 3 months, I think, that they've been doing this.
what the writer strike?
Yeah,
The writer strike has probably been. I hate to say it, might have been like 4 months.
yeah.
The
So
actors have been like a month. I think actors
yeah,
was like started in July.
so it's something like that where it's like, all right, so it's 3 months, and then the other ones, still kind of new, but it's just like you gotta, you think about how this is all going. So like a show like Stranger Things, where it's like, because the pandemic it all got shut down, and like, oh, like those kids look so old, and like by the time they get to that last season that they're gonna do, like them kids are gonna be like already having kids of their own. So it's like, oh, like I'm
Well,
a
I
grown.
mean, your girl's getting married. Your girl's engaged.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
she's
like,
engaged.
it's just one of those things that's kind of funny. It's just
I don't
like,
know how they're gonna play that. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna play that show because, like you said, they're all even the black kid. He has a beard now.
yeah, it's just like they're all
Like,
they're all just getting older. It's just like, whoa, like you went from, because you watch season one, it's like, all right, they're all in like, they're all getting into like, oh,
they're like junior high. They're all like really
yeah,
in junior high at that moment.
and
And
then it's just like, oh, you getting convinced me this is a high school kid still? Like, no way. It's just like it's so crazy. It's just like, and it's one of those things where it's like, you're gonna look back on that and be like, oh wow, like how did it's a great show. It's amazing how they did it all like that.
look at this guy. Look at
And
this guy pop up.
good,
90. YouTube is not 90. Hasn't been 90 since 2018. What's up?
but
What's up, 90?
but I was just saying, it's like it's crazy how it was. Just you look at that was a great show, and it's all these outside forces may not give you the finale. It's like, one of those things where it's like, yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I would
Yeah,
assume
they had a lot of great
they'll
shows
do
that
it, but
on the first writer strike that ended, and I think this is going to happen with this one.
oh well, look at
Um,
Heroes.
yeah,
Heroes had that
Heroes was
right, and
one. They
that's
had
like,
Jericho. They had a few good shows.
yeah.
Uh, so, oh, he got me. He says that's why I said used to be. I didn't even read it like that.
I like I do think we dodged a bullet. I think I'm not sure. Actually, no. What was it? Cobra Kai, I think, got pushed back a little further too, because I think that it was supposed to be out in September. And I think they pushed it back to potentially something around January to March of next year is when it's supposed to come out, which is
Well, I'll say this too. I don't think the actors strike is going anywhere anytime soon. Reason being is I've been getting like announcements that pretty big name actors are going to conventions now. They're going to convention. Paul Bettany, Mr. Vision himself, is going to be at Dallas Fan Expo, the one in October, not the one in June. But he's going to be in the one in October. They announced him being in there, and I'm like, it's like the only time I've seen Paul Bettany at a convention was like San Diego, like putting else for Avengers. So it's like,
I guess the rumor. So the rumor for Cobra Kai season 6 is expected to come out on Netflix likely in 2024 or 25. So I mean, like that's not encouraging news, because you got to think about that. It's just like if they're not sure, if it's going to be out next year or even the year after that, just because of how this is, going with this strike and how long it's persisting. Just because it's not so much that I mean, let's say they figure out the writer strike by like let's say March of next year, and everything, or
Yeah,
they figure everything out by March
to
of
me,
next year.
the biggest thing
Everything
is
is
the
pushed
writing.
so far back because you got to figure out, how you're going to get everything together again. You got to, write it all. It's just like it's crazy when you think about it because it's like, the only thing. I mean, if it goes that long, like what show is going to be on? Like, there's not going to be any new shows. It's going to be. I mean, you could be looking at a year's worth of reruns and syndicated programming for, just your regular entertainment, and then everything. The only thing that'll be live will be the news and sports and stuff like that. It'd be pretty surreal to see it like that, where it's like nothing
Yeah,
is new until later on. It's gonna be
yeah, it's gonna be,
it's weird.
it's gonna be, and in this, what's the sad thing about it is a lot of people like get mad at actors, and because they think every actor is on that 1% of actors, the ones that are making the millions. But a
Yeah,
lot of actors are just working actors. Like they're like trying to think of a good range for as a regular job, but um like at a hospital, you have your surgeon doctors that are making some money because they're surgeons. They make some money, but then you have your intern or your people who are just starting off that they're getting very bad bare minimums. So it's kind of like in that range. You're trying to give a good example for us, like actors. Like you had like yeah, those people are just starting out in the doctor field want to be those surgeons making the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, or millions of dollars a year. Yeah, they want to be at that level, but a lot of them are just working class people, just like the working actors. They got plenty of people. I have a friend of mine I went to college with. He's basically just a regular working actor that if he does stuff, he's not getting paid to be like live a lavish lifestyle.
yeah,
He's getting paid enough to pay a bill or two, and that's
yeah.
it. And he has to work
Well, that's the thing.
another job to keep with his passion.
Yeah,
So it's
and
like
that's the thing. Is just like because people don't understand that it's not always like if you're an actor, maybe you're just doing commercials. You know what I mean? You're not getting paid a lot of money for them commercials, or maybe you're just doing. I mean, maybe you're only on stage. That's another thing that people don't think about too. Like, cause just because not everybody is a on television act. Like, I'm sure that even stage actors are probably in the same boat where it's just like, I
I think.
can't
Well,
do.
I think stage. I can tell you. I think stage actors. I don't know. I don't know how stage it got. We went to go see this
Well,
show
if they
called
appear on
Brilliant.
screen, like if they've ever like let's say you're
Well,
on
if they're a
stage,
member, if they're a member of the Screen Actors Guild. We got to clarify that
yeah,
too. If they're not a member, then it doesn't even matter.
yeah. No, if you're in the Screen Actors Guild though, like you know what I mean, and you work on it's just like it affects a lot of people. But the thing, it's just like you know, I think like everything, if you don't really understand the inner workings of it, of course, people just have their ideas, and it's so easy to be like, "Oh, these guys are just greedy." It's like, well, it's not that simple. So, but it just ends up being one of those things that, in the end of it all, we're just gonna have to be really patient and hope for the best when it comes to this, this strike, because it's gonna be a very, very different, place as far as entertainment's concerned. And then the other thing that I wonder too is just that like it could change the landscape of just entertainment in general because it's like maybe we don't want to make the stuff that's happening right now. Maybe we don't want to do that anymore. Maybe we've moved on. Maybe we lost that passion for it. We don't care about it anymore. It all
Mhm.
like because everything can change. Like, and that's the thing I think that a lot of people don't really factor in. Where it's just like, all right, superhero movies are on top of the game right now, but it's like, all right, if this strike goes on if this strike pushes things back, projects that was supposed to be out, you know, next year and pushes them back 2 or 3 years, they might just be like, fuck this. There's no reason to do this. Like no one's gonna want to wait 3 years to see this movie. Like nothing is that popular that everyone's gonna want to wait that long to see this. So just scrap it all. Don't worry about it. We'll figure something else out later. And
Yeah.
that I think really is I mean, and because that's the thing, it's like you figure so, oh no, they'll just start from the drawing board. Okay, but then you're talking about still years down the road. They might just say screw all this stuff. We're gonna focus on making different movies. Because it's just like the people don't have the attention span to wait that long.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be interesting in the next few months because I don't know. I think movies might get pushed back, but it's just because they can't promote it. So that's gonna be very interesting. So it's stuff that all is slated to come out. So I think that's
yeah,
what kind of happened with Dune. I think Dune had a mixture of things. They can't. They're probably going to do reshoots, and they couldn't do reshoots. And they also probably wanted to promote the movie, but they can't promote it because of that whole stuff they're going into. So it's very interesting because I heard it kind of goes to this rumor I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a rumor that John Cena was actually going to come back to WWE for I don't know how long. It's like
oh, he's
like
back
six
this week.
weeks. Oh, he came
Yeah,
back this week.
he's supposed to, I think, be coming back to SmackDown,
Yeah, but I
but
think it's for like 6 weeks.
something like that.
Like it's for like 6 weeks, so he doesn't even think it's going to end in the next 6 weeks because whatever contract he signed to do like a short term is because there's nothing going on with his acting side.
Yeah,
The only thing he's done as actually coming out or actually just came out was that it's like a movie with him, the couples. I forgot the name of that damn
yeah, it's
movie.
on Hulu. I know you're talking
Yeah, it's
about.
like Hulu, like the sequel. So that's
Yeah,
out, but they didn't even promote that. They just dropped
no,
it.
I just thought about it yesterday. But
Yeah, I saw it, and I was like, wait. I was like, wait, when did this come out?
well, what is funny is I think that when it comes to
Yeah,
like
that's what I said.
I mean one
That's
of
a
the
long
things
time when you think about it.
well one of the things that I kind of I guess one of the bright spots in this is that when you look at I guess like the Disney Plus, you have Ahsoka just came out, and I mean I think
Ahsoka came
based
out
on
and Rosario Dawson can't advertise it at all. That sucks because
yeah
I follow on Instagram, zero mention of Ahsoka, zero anything about Ahsoka on
it's
her
still
Instagram.
despite it, they're still doing well though. They said that they had for the first week show they had 14 million people view it. So that's pretty cool. And really, when it comes to that, like it's a win that Disney Plus needs.
I hate to
Just
say it, they should have did it as a movie. Should
I,
have did it as a movie.
I don't know. I
I
don't know
think.
what they're going to be able to. I mean, it's hard to say that right now, just because you don't know if it's like you're not sure exactly.
Well, the first I'll tell you, we can slide into talking about this because you see the
Yeah,
first two episodes. I actually
yeah,
saw
no,
the
they're
third
good.
one. I saw the third one today. I'm not gonna spoil anything, even though it's not much to spoil on the third one. It's almost like a filler episode, but but I think how the first three episodes, because I think it's only 6 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. It should have been a movie. It's good. It's good. This I think this could
Yeah.
have put Star Wars back on the kind of like movie track, if that makes any sense.
Well,
Um,
I think. I mean, I think that the tough part with all that is where you kind of go with it, where it's just like you it depends on what everything looks like and how it all works. Just because movies, I mean, everybody looks at it as like can you fit all of that into 2 hours or 2.5 maybe. That's the only thing, and it's just like I haven't seen the third episode, so I don't know. And of course, you have like
the third episode is like 35 minutes. It's not that long. So that's
yeah,
why I'm looking at the numbers for its time frame. I think the move if they would have did the same thing they're doing now, and maybe let's say they shave off 20 minutes, then it would have been like a 2.5 hour movie. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
But
So
I think is as long as you can fit all the significant stuff within that time frame, then you should be fine. But it just I wonder that sometimes where it's just like is it too much to put it into a movie, or is it I mean I don't know why they would feel it would be better suited if they could make it a movie. I know that you always, and I'll go back to Stranger Things because like the last 2 episodes, it started out being kind of shorter, and then it got longer as you got to the finale, and it was like the last episode was like basically a movie of its own. It was like 2 hours long, and the one before that was like an hour and change. And some people complain like, oh, so it's way too long. It's like fuck that. This is great. I was like, I am happy with this because in terms of, and I bet you they changed their tune now because at the time they were like, oh, like now you have this thing. It's like, yeah, no, like you're probably happy that you got all that content because if they had made it shorter, and just and didn't complete everything, then you would be stuck sitting there like, oh, like now I gotta wait to find out how this resolves. This is stupid. And now they can kind of move to the other part and see what it's gonna happen. So, and 2028 or whatever, when those kids are all getting ready to get um, the hip replacements and stuff, we'll be able to see that movie because like it's just funny because I just look at it where it's just like it's such a funny thing that they didn't get to just complete that in a timely manner, but it is what it is. But when looking at the Ahsoka show, it is good. It's actually really it's really fun to see that character being explored. More from this point of view, and I do like that there's that new element of the the Sith out of there as well, because it's like, oh, that's kind of cool to see that happen. Um, you know, so I think it's going to be a strong show. I think that it's bittersweet though, just because it's like what else do they have hopefully done that they can go ahead and put on for Disney Plus? Because if there's nothing else they've done as far as like series or anything like that, it's going to be tough not having any new content, especially for them too, because it's like how often. I mean, in my house, Disney Plus is no problem. Like my daughter watches it every single night when she goes to sleep. So it's just like they're getting their money out of me with no problem. They're getting all the views they need out of me and my subscription. But it's just like how many people are gonna get sick of being like, yeah, I don't want to go back and watch the same stuff over and over again. I'm just gonna cancel my subscription. So you got to worry about that a little bit.
What's up, Chicago? What's up, Jigs Kingdom? What's going on? Appreciate you guys stopping through. Like Brian LCS said, please smash that thumbs up button if you're stopping through.
Yeah,
It helps the algorithm, helps people let them know we had live. Appreciate it. We got up to like 10 to 11 people. So I do appreciate everybody hanging through and just chit-chatting with us. If you guys have any questions in the chat or any comments, man, definitely throw them out there while we're talking about this stuff. But I want to touch on this as well with Ahsoka. Then I want to show my unboxing, and we can. The first two episodes, since you only saw the first two episodes, let's say first two episodes I'd graded. If I had to, since this is going more comic side, let's do like a CGC grade. If I had to grade the first two episodes of Ahsoka, I'd give it a 9.4, maybe 9.2, 9.4.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
9.2, 9.4.
It was very good.
But it was very solid. Yeah. That's why I'm kind of torn between 9.2, 9.4 because it probably more leaning on the 9.4 side of what I really like, because after the first two episodes, I really wanted to see the rest of the show.
Yeah,
like it was one of those things that if it was dropped all at once,
yeah, you watched the whole thing.
I'd have tried my damnedest to watch the whole thing. It'd have been hard because it'd have been damn near impossible. But I'd have tried. I probably would watch at least the first 3 to 4 episodes.
That's
what I probably would have did. But I really wanted to see more of it, so I was excited. Yeah. I'm very curious to see who pops up. I don't know about if you are, because you kind of know like some of those Rebels people are going to pop up.
Yeah,
you just don't know which one's going to pop up next. But I'm very curious to see if any of the previous people pop up, i.e.,
I'm sure
Mandalorian, the Mando, Grogu, who else? Bo-Katan. The reason why I say this, throwing these people out there, is because if you know what their what's his name, Dave
Filoni.
Yeah, which if you know, they're making a movie and it's basically an ensemble with all of those characters together.
Yeah,
and to me, in order to do that, some episode we gotta have at least Mando. Something's got to pop up when Mando shows up. She needs some assistance, and she goes, "I got somebody I could help us." And it's kind of like almost at that point. Honestly, it's almost at that point of because you'll see what I'm talking about in episode 3. It's kind of like at that point with what's going on, and it's leading that way that they're not going to get help from the Republic, the New Republic, which that's not a spoiler because if you watch Mando's show, he didn't get help because they got to get approval. So it's kind of been that dead horse beaten. Like, we're not getting approved from the thing, so we got to get other people to help us. So let's get Mando, let's get Ahsoka Tano, let's get Bo-Katan. So it's leading to that. So I'm just curious to see which of those characters will show up in Ahsoka. So what it was, Hood Rat's in the house. Hood Rat says this is what he thinks. He thinks Bo-Katan because Ahsoka and Sabine have a friendship with her. Yeah. I think it could be Mando because Mando has actually a friendship with Ahsoka. And I think he owes Ahsoka. Does he owe Ahsoka, or I think he owes Ahsoka for helping him, if I'm not mistaken. Because he owed Bo-Katan, which he repaid Bo-Katan. Now I think he still owes Ahsoka for helping. So that's what I was thinking. I think it's going to be Din Djarin. I think it's going to be Din Djarin, not Bo-Katan. That's just me.
I think that at some point you're going to get, even if it's in the end credit or something like that, she walks up to somebody or whatever, and all of a sudden you hear just one voice, "Hello there." And there's gonna be Actually, I doubt that. I doubt that just because of the fact that, like, you know, to put him in there, and I know that you had like the, you know, all the, you know, cartoons and stuff that kind of did that, like Clone Wars and everything, but I think that when it comes down to it, it's kind of hard to put that in now because of New Hope and everything, like the difference between the two. It's just like, you know, it was never intended for that. But
what's so crazy is like what's also crazy about the whole thing is that Luke is out there, but he's like they kind of put it that he's rebuilding the Jedi Academy, but
yeah,
but they kind of put him like he's there, but he's not, you know.
Yeah,
it's like, and he's in the same galaxy. It's not like, because what we've seen from Ahsoka, they're all in the same galaxy, because it's not as easy to travel from one galaxy to the next. Even though they got all these hyperdrives and all this technology, they like it's not easy to go between galaxies. So he's in the same galaxy. I guess he's just not, he's not aware of anything going on, or even Thrawn or anything, you know. So it's kind of weird, kind of how they place all this stuff.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
that's probably the only reason why I give it a 9.294. It's like they got little things that kind of irk.
No, I think it's good. I think it's going to be solid going forward too. I just think that you know, as far as the introduction to her, it was done well. I think, you know, just kind of getting it off the ground, like it did a lot. Like you said, like it was one of those things where it's like, you know, once episode 2 ended, it's like, oh man, gotta wait a whole week for the next one. Okay, and it's just like, you know, one of those things where I know me personally, like I tend to fall off when it comes to that type of stuff, just because I don't like having to do it on a weekly basis. I like to be able to sit there and be like, all right, let me watch a bunch and then either finish it all today or watch it, you know, in chunks when I can do it. So, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, the staggered releases, I've never been a fan of that. I do look forward to them, but I'm just like, I'd rather just have it all at once. So it's just like I can kind of enjoy it.
Well, and I got another question to ask you and the chat, so the chat can answer as well. I'll answer I'll answer right after I ask the question, so you get know my answer. So, do you like the primetime release of Ahsoka at Tuesday? I think it's like 9 Eastern. I like it. I like it because I could watch it Tuesday. I could actually watch it Tuesday if I want.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that at all. Just because it's better than you know, being a situation where
3 a.m. on the East Coast.
If it comes out like that early, it's just like, okay, so even if it's out, I know I can't watch this until I get done with work. So it's just like, what's the, you know? But if you put it out there, you know, at night, then it's like, okay, I can get home from work and see this. Like, it's almost like
you know what it kind of does, and somebody mentioned it. I kind of wish a lot of my friends would actually live closer, because I would actually take advantage of this. But we could actually do it online if we wanted to. We could have a watch party. You actually could have a watch party, and everybody could get, like, you could have did that for the first 2 episodes, because it was like a movie. It's over, like, you know, it was like an hour and 40 minutes or something, like an hour and 30 minutes. But you could have had a watch party and had like food, hanging out, you know, drinking and watching.
So yeah, if you're close by, that's cool. Like if you do it online, the only like one thing that could mess that up is that if somebody has a slightly faster, or if somebody has a faster internet connection than you, then you're like, oh, react to something like, what? I just walking down the hall. What the hell? Like, all right. So then you know everything they're gonna do, because it's like you're on like a delay. So it's like, man, and it's just like, so that's the only thing that can kind of give that a little bit of a spoil. But if everything's lined up correctly, yeah, you could do that. Just because
Yeah, I
it's
think I've done it. I think I've done it once before. It was like, but it's like the same thing. Like you say, it's a little bit. It's whoever's hosting the stream, they're gonna see it faster than everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's like so that's the person who needs to just be quiet while things happen. They be like watching it. Oh, and they be like, "What's going on?" I can't say that. But like I've done it once, but like whoever hosted it, you gotta be quiet and kind of like gotta relax and wait.
Well, you gotta have
Wait
a
till
poker
everybody
face. You
chits.
can't just be sitting there talking about. You can't sit there and I'm be quiet. I'm not saying anything else.
What's up, Chef Harris is in the house. What's going on,
What's going on?
Chef?
What's going
And then
on,
Yahweh in the building. Quick shout out, myself, Yahweh, Sands. I don't know who else is going to be there, but Sands has a group of people who are going to be there for Whale Friday. So they're gonna have a big, yeah. So the original guy who did the whale shows with the big books, $200 starting bid, $50 or more buy it now. So we're gonna have buy it nows that might be a $50 range, but that's the cheapest they're gonna be for buy it now. So it's gonna be a good show. I haven't. I'm gonna try to drop a preview on IG tomorrow, since I do have time to do it. I'll probably do like a little, like one of those reels to let people know, and I might do as well on YouTube of some of the books I have. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I've actually sold a lot of books before the show. Shout out to Baki. Baki bought a lot of my stuff, so now I'm kind of scrambling because I have less stuff to sell. I do have a lot of big books left, but yeah. So check out Sands tomorrow. Follow him on IG if you want to know the times. Let me unbox this. So let me unbox this. So shout out to Brian LCS. I got nominated on the CBA Awards for Best Unboxing Show. Bleeker has been heavily promoting me, so shout out to Bleeker as well. And he's nominated for Best Hair, so please vote for him. But Bleeker has been shamelessly nominated, like shouting me out. Even after I didn't make the finalists, saying that he's like, you're the one person who constantly unboxed fire. So thank you to Bleeker. I try to keep that up. I do have like 2 videos I'm sitting on to release after the hunt. So I do have 2 unboxing videos. If you don't watch the hunt and you do watch my channel, stay tuned. They got some big books on unboxing. So this one was purchased from Nickel and Dime Collectibles on IG. They sell a lot with Elite Comics 11, and they do payment plans on stuff. If you know me and Chris, we love people that do payment plans. So it helps you get big books or grails that you didn't think you would get, because I think Nickel does. I think they do 60 days, which is actually really good. I think they do 60 days for their payment plans. It's like 20% down. And the funny thing is, if you bought from them before, they don't even look for the 20% down. They just give you the 60 days or whatever it is to pay it off. But if you're like never bought from them before, then it's like 20% down. It's non-refundable. That's just an incentive for you to pay it off. Some people were like, oh, I had one person that I don't even think they probably follow me anymore, but they're like, oh man, if I paid 20% of something and you kept my money, I would send goons after you. And I was like, come on, man, then pay the bill.
That's when you come back to it's just like non-refundable. 20% down. He's like, I don't need no refund. I just want my book. I'm gonna pay this shit, and you're sending me. I don't need no refund. There's no refund at all. No refund needed. I'm paying you. I'm gonna get my book.
But yeah, Nickel and Dime, him and his wife kind of do the sales together, so they're pretty good, pretty fun. I like they do a lot of ratios. I don't know. I would guess the guy's Nickel and she's Dime. But is there
as a sticker?
Oh,
they got like a little Breaking Bad thing almost.
And it said proud Elite Comics 11 vendor. So
pretty cool.
It says thank you for choosing a small business. And like I said, they have a lot of ratio too, like big ratio books.
That's cool.
Like and at good prices. Like I said, good prices, good ratios. They have some older books, some minor keys, some bigger keys. And they also put their little scan on the back so you can scan for the live sales. So
that's a book.
It's an old book.
It looks like an old book. Yeah, I was gonna say, the photo ring thing was a funny part.
Yeah, so this is Action Comics 276. You got Supergirl on the cover. So this is actually let me see how many keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 first appearances in this book. I believe these first appearances, I can't remember where they appear. Like I forgot what they formed. I don't know if they formed Super League of Heroes or something like that, but it's 4 or 5 creamed off white pages from 1961. It looks really nice for 4 or 5, but it's the first appearance of Brainiac 5, Sun Boy, Phantom Girl, Trapicate Girl, Triplicate Girl, Shrinking Violet, and Bouncing Boy. So I know I've heard of Sun Boy. But I forgot what group they form or they start. A few of them are part of the group, but it's
it was the Legion of Superheroes. I know that.
And they got actually cool date stamp, 1961. What, Sun Boy?
No, was it Bouncing Boys in the Legion of Superheroes?
Yeah, I figured. I think a few of the characters are in the Legion of Superheroes, are actually foreign to Legion of Superheroes, but it's like a little sneaky key that's actually really affordable. I didn't pay crazy. I actually sent. Funny thing is, I've been watching this book Nickel and Dime has had for a while, and I've just been watching, and they've had it for like a few weeks now, like it might be a month or two now. And then I finally just sent them. I sent them kind of like a low ball offer, and they actually accepted it. And I was like, damn, how you say damn, because you're like I wasn't expecting to buy anything.
Yeah.
So I got this for a really, really, really good price. But yeah, like I said, a lot of first appearances. Basically, the characters start the Legion of Superheroes. So
yeah, so they're not the ones they're not the founders of it, but it's like they're the ones that like basically. So you have the originals, which is was it a Lightning Lad? Was it Lightning Lad and somebody else? Oh, hold on. It's Lightning Lad, Cosmic Boy, Lightning Boy, Cosmic Boy, and Saturn Girl. They're the originals.
Yeah, no, it's like a Saturn Girl.
And then they basically recruit. It's almost like they recruited other people into their ranks. So those are like I guess the first 6 that kind of come in with them to make the Legion better, so the Legion bigger.
Yeah, was it Bouncing Boy? Is it Sun Boy, Bouncing Boy?
Triplicate Girl, Phantom Girl, whatever.
Those, and they started, yeah.
So they might be like I would say, even though like those 3 were like the inaugural, I think like these are the ones that actually make it an actual Legion of Heroes. So these are the ones that form the actual first real big part of that team.
So yeah, but I mainly got it because they had a couple of female first appearances, so Phantom Girl and Triplicate Girl. So I got it done when I found out the coolness key about it, the other side of it, that with a lot of those characters are into this Legion of Superheroes. This made it actually cooler. Not a super expensive book, but it's way more than I paid for it. I'm just gonna say it like that. I didn't even pay $300 for it. I paid a lot less. Say it like that. I say a lot less. And they let me do a payment plan. Like I said, Nickel and Dime super awesome. They let you do payment plans basically on almost any book, any value, which is kind of crazy. So like you buy like a $50 book, you be like, hey, I paid off in 2 weeks. Yes, they don't care. So
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. It's better than, you know, trying to chase somebody for something that they can't get. Like, you know, because everybody got different situations going on, so you never know. I mean, if
yeah, because
sometimes,
they could be doing a sale on the week you're not getting paid.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Or
which that's happened a lot with me.
yeah, or it's something where it's like, you know, maybe you're, you know, stepping into that new threshold of collecting, where it's like, you know, normally you just, you know, buy straight from, you know, bins within your comic book, you know, store and stuff like that. So it's like I don't usually buy a $50 book, so do you mind if I take a little bit of time to pay this? Oh yeah, no problem. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like everybody has different levels to it. So you know, for some people, $50 is like, yeah, I can do $50, no problem. And other people are like, yeah, it might take me a little bit of time. So, and it's the same thing with even books that I've gotten, where it's just like, you know, some people are like, oh, like this is X amount. It's like, yeah, I need a little bit of time on that one, just because, you know, if you're okay with it, like, yeah, no problem, that's fine. Okay, thank you. So, you know, that's always, I think, a good thing. And you know, being flexible is usually you know, the way that you get return customers, because of the fact that they know that you know, you're understanding and you're willing to allow them you know, time to make that payment. So that's good. And like I said, that it always works out, because sometimes people have, you know, stories where it's the opposite, where it's like, you know, this guy burned me, and you know, I think sometimes people will get bitter from that. But and the most part, if you're honest with them, they'll be honest with you, and that keeps that relationship going, and that allows for you know, people to gain that trust and allow people to go ahead and do those payment plans in confidence. So that's a good thing. So I would say, you know, the one thing I would give a hint to anybody is just that, you know, don't go outside what you can do. Like if you can do a payment plan, and you know, like put it this way, if you see an $800 book and you can do it in 60 days, absolutely go for it if you can. If you know that $800 and you're saying, I think I can get it done in 60 days, and you're way overextending yourself, don't even do it. Just you know, save up and do it another day, a day, or whatever like that. Like, you know, there's always more
Mm.
books.
Yeah, it's just you just got to know your budget. It's all about budgeting
Yeah,
and know what you're spending on. And honestly, if you eat out at all, you'd be surprised at what you can afford if you just don't eat out at all.
yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
say it like I'm just be honest. Like people don't realize how much money you spend on eat. Like we just went to go eat, or we just got some food to go. Like basically, and I know that costs probably like $30 to $40. And guess what? We could have probably made the same meal for like $10 at home.
Yep,
So yeah, so that's one aspect. You know, some people like to drink coffees too, like you buy coffees at Starbucks, Dunkin'
yep,
Donuts, stuff like that. It adds up, adds up. So there's different ways to kind of save. And you just allocate that money to getting stuff like this. Well, this is like I said, this is only a couple $100, but getting stuff like that, or getting
yeah,
like you said, the $800 book is allocate that money that you were going to spend, but you got to make sure you do that. That's the biggest thing. If you know
yeah,
you go eat out 3 times a week and you average $50 a day, take that $150 you're going to do to eat out, eat at home, subtract the money that you spend for the eating at home. Let's say you end up spending $40 to eat at home those 3 days. Now you
yeah.
got
One,
$110. So you got $110. So put that money to the side. Don't touch it.
yeah,
And this is like kind of good thing to talk about too, as far as when you're getting getting our books that we're trying to look at for the future. It's like sometimes you got to make little sacrifices like that if you
yep,
want to get stuff for your collection. That's kind of like what I've been doing a little bit. And the reason I haven't done it for us food wise, but I've done it for us like I haven't sent off books to get graded in what a couple of months now, because I think the last time I did it was June. And we're basically September because tomorrow's September 1st.
yep,
So I haven't sent off books in a couple of months, and I've used that money and put it to the side, and slowly have been buying books like this and other books that I haven't shown yet. And that's what I've been doing. That's why I've been kind of putting the emphasis on selling stuff that I really don't want in my collection anymore or don't fit my collection anymore, to use that money. And then I can get to my back to grading, which I do have a list. I have I'm probably like the one of the last people to send in comic book chiropractor stuff because he's closed his orders. But yeah, I have some books that I'm sending him. So like it's that's kind of like what I've been doing for is saving money because you got to pay your presser. Just let people know that is not free. Got to pay my presser, so that's money. So I've been kind of like saving that money and not using it. And but yeah, I'm about to get back on the horse with doing that. I had to, so next month probably September is like like literally tomorrow. So September I'll probably have some CGC unboxings probably towards the end of the month, depending on how fast they open up the box. So that's kind of like what I've been doing. I don't know about you, like for as when you books you want to get. I kind of like been like kind of like repositioning money that I know I have and like not doing stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, I haven't bought anything new in a while. Like I sent actually, so I sent some things off to the last thing I sent off was stuff for Terrificon, and I'm still waiting on that to come back. And then for Boston, the only thing I really did, I think I bought maybe like one or two books that were like like maybe like in between $20 and $25, and then I got those couple commissions, and that was it. And then from that point, I haven't spent anything on comic. I haven't bought a new comic at all since since that point in time, and I've just been kind of just hanging back just because I know that in November I'm going to the Rhode Island Con, and so I'm saving money to get stuff signed and then send that out again. So send those few books out, and then I'm going to also just kind of I've been keeping an eye on things. I've been looking, and unfortunately for me, because I'm in this buying freeze for the moment, I've missed out on some books that I wanted to get at good prices and stuff like that. But I was it just isn't the right time for me. So I've just been hanging back and just waiting. So hopefully before the end of the year I can get one or two more. I'm just trying to really like think about what books I want to get, and what is going to be affordable going into next year, because I have a feeling that maybe the end of the year into the beginning of next might be a better window to buy some stuff, because of the fact that I think people are trying to people try to shoot for the moon a little bit as the year goes on, and I think as you get towards the end, it starts to go back down because of the fact that people just had Christmas and everything like that, so they realize that people don't have a lot of money, so they're just kind of hanging back on that, and maybe some things will come down a little more, just as I've been noticing. So that's my hope, and then I mean also too with the strike and everything like that going, I would say speculation, and this is I think is also kind of the reason why some books have started to go down, is because you can't speculate as easily on things if there's no potential production pipeline, because people can't say, oh, well, we're definitely going to do this. Like, you don't know that. They can say that the rumor is we want to do this, but we don't know. We have no idea how long this is going to take. So something that you thought would be, something that you thought would be untouchable, may have gotten new life, because it's like, oh, well, you know what? I don't have to get this book right now, just because, like, even if they were going to do something with this, it's going to be pushed back a few years. So they're not going to announce it just yet. It's going to take a while. So I think, in that realm, that's what I'm going to look for. And probably, maybe get one or two more, maybe, before the end of the year, hopefully, but we'll see. And if not, then I'll just kind of, I'm going to roll a bunch of stuff over into next year, and then, keep an eye out for some stuff, just because I feel like, the end, like I said, end of the year into the beginning of next year is when you'll see some things. And I think like everything, the trend that I noticed is that things started to go up the closer you got to, like, tax season and stuff like that, and people getting money from work. Some things started to really kind of jump, and then you had you had that whole thing where like speculation was kind of doing its thing and all that, but you also had because people know you just follow the money. It's just like, okay, people are getting their taxes back, they have some money to spend, all right, cool. And then as you kind of burn through that, it starts to kind of slowly go down a little bit more. So that's just my I mean, and not that I'm sitting there like a hawk watching the market, because I haven't done all that ton of research, but I've been looking, and that's what I've noticed so far for this year. So I could be completely wrong. It could end up being either the opposite or not quite as much as I think. So we'll see. I mean, I'm just gonna do my best to keep an eye on it. Like, all right, this is the trend I noticed, and to see if it follows again next year. And then if it does, then it makes things a little bit easier to deal with. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I knocked a couple books off my 10 book list. I'm gonna have to roll all of the rest of the books over. I might, because we're September. Might be able to knock one more off if I sell some stuff. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah, I mean,
If
like,
I got some stuff that I end up selling, yeah. So I'll say it like this. I could easily knock off 2, maybe 3 more books if I could sell some of the stuff that I am trying to sell. I'll just say it like that. So
yeah,
I could actually make a big jump. But um, I've noticed there's been a slowdown on selling a little bit. Um, but yeah, that's a different story for a different day. Um,
well, I mean,
yeah,
it's just the reality of it all. Like people are realizing that, like, it's not as easy to kind of get stuff. And the thing is, I think, and I'm not gonna say that, oh, well, the market's corrected and this and that. I don't think it's necessarily even that, because I think that just people um, took for granted where things would stay and how things would kind of progress through, and they're seeing that it's not as high as it was before, and so now it's just like, all right, people are getting a little bit tighter with their finances. I mean, another thing I know is going to definitely change some people's disposable income is that if you have student loans to pay back, those are going back into effect in October, so you're gonna have to start repaying your student loans again. So it's just like that's going to also end up, I mean, and I'm included in that. I have loans I have to pay back, so it's just like that's definitely going to change what people have for income or for money, just because of the fact that here's a bill that you haven't had to pay in a long time, and all of a sudden it's back. It's, oh, okay, I got to rework everything and figure out how I'm going to throw that in the mix with some other stuff. So it's definitely going to be a difference maker for a lot of people. And
mm,
you know it's just one of those things where it's like, as people adjust to having that new monthly payment, it might slow things down a little bit. So for
yeah,
some people who are not affected by that, it's going to be good for you, because you can sit there and say, okay, well, while all these people aren't looking at this, I can kind of go in and scoop some stuff that there's not as many eyes on right now because they can't afford it.
yeah.
So
It's gonna be interesting. We'll see what happens. But that'll be interesting to see how the year ends with the starting of that.
yep.
Um, we're gonna wind it down. I want to shout out some things going on for myself, for what's going on, and me and Chris are actually involved and stuff like that. So, shout out Tony Sanders in the Hunt. We have that next week, so definitely check out the Hunt. Got a lot of big matches. I know I have a tag match next, next Hunt. So definitely check out the Hunt. See some big books, some trash talking, and all that good stuff. So check out Tony Sanders the Hunt next week. Um, Again, shout out to Brian LCS. Thank you for doing the nominations and stuff like that. And thank you for the people who nominated me. I'm gonna continue to keep doing the same stuff. So hopefully the people who did nominate me keep enjoying it. And I thank you again for that. Last, I want to shout out his Sands group, because he has the whale auction this Friday. Like Geeky put in here, Whale Friday. Make sure you check it out. So definitely come check it out. Even if you just want to window watch, the more the merrier. We'll be doing giveaways. I'll be doing a top spender giveaway who purchases from me. This is the book that I'm going to add to your box. Whoever spends the most. So even if it's just one person that buys one lot, you could win this book or get it added. So this is the book that I'm throwing in as the
Nice.
buyer premium. Thank you. So whoever spends the most with me will get Department of Truth number one, 1 in 100 in a 9.6. I do not believe it was pressed and clean. Though this actually is under the FMV for this book. So you're getting basically a $250 or more book. I know Raw sell for like around this price. So this is my buyer's premium. Whoever spends the most with me tomorrow night, will get this book added to their box with no additional costs. Even if I don't think I have any Raws tomorrow, so it'll be thrown in your box for that. So definitely check out Whale Friday tomorrow with Sands, and check out the channel because I'll be dropping some premiere videos of me doing some unboxings. So that's all I got on my end. Chris, what you got going on, or anything you want to shout out?
So I don't really have, I don't think, too much going on my channel at all. Like you said, the hunt. I just finished doing a big feud with Nick, the comic nerd. So it's gonna be strange being on there and not being in the main event, seeing as how I think for the last, I don't know, at least month or two, I've been in the main event every match just about with somebody. So it is what it is on that. Like as far as me kind of being in the spot I was in, that a really really fun time. Going against a lot of great people. So I'll be on there taking on somebody, I'm sure, but just don't know who. There's no real plan for me now, so it's just like getting into a new story. Um, as far as my channel, I haven't made anything in a long time, and I need to. I just haven't had the time to do it. It's been tough with work and everything like that. It's just been a lot going on, and then just family stuff too. So it's just like everything. It's just been really really busy. From just thinking about the last few months, it's just been a lot of birthdays and holidays, and then just different stuff at work and everything. So it's just been tough to kind of keep up. So I will eventually, I guess, end up making some type of video, some type of content, because I need to update everybody on what's been going on with my want list, because I've definitely gotten books
Yep,
that
and your CGC haul whenever that comes back too.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll figure out with that, just because right now it's everything's kind of in a holding pattern with that, just because I think CGC is still closed because they're worried about the hurricane. So I think the actual building is like the actual company has closed because they're worried about the hurricane.
And I wouldn't be mad at them if they were, because they might not, because they might have not have power. So they got that going on. So I think they'll be up and running by Monday. But
Florida is right in the thick of that, like, just storm area. So the storms, they get are no joke. So if it's they have to really like take every precaution, just because those are very powerful hurricanes on there. So I just I'm looking at it where it's just like wishing them all the best and staying safe. So I'm just waiting on that, and I know I'll get that stuff back eventually when it does come. But other than that, I just have some things that I do need to show. So I just have to, get it some time carved out where I can just sit down and make a couple of videos and put them up for everybody. And then, have some finally new content. Cause I think the last video I made was my list. So I think that's how long it's been. It's been probably since either the beginning of the year or some early part of the year that I made that video. I haven't shown so many books that I need to. So that'll definitely be a video that I make, is just an update to my the books I've gotten so far this year, where I'm going to go and keep going from, or at least try to continue on from that point. So that's pretty much it. I think I have, last time I checked, like I think it's 398 subscribers. So 2 away from 400, which is pretty
Well,
funny.
look, talking about that, we're gonna share you one away from 400. We're gonna shout out this. I want to shout out Kyle. Uncanny Kyle Walker is only 8 away from 1,000. 8 away. So we actually helped them out last time on the channel. So any of the 5 or 6 or 7 people watching, whoever's watching left, if you're not subscribed to Uncanny Kyle Walker, please do. Especially if it's 5 people or whoever, how many people are watching right now. If you guys are not subscribed, man, you get him even closer. And that he's in a different time zone, so it's like he's probably working right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be a pleasant surprise if you guys could sub him up, get him even closer. Because if the 5 people watching are not sub to him, that would give him at 997. So he's been doing it. He's a good friend of ours. Get him to 1,000. You got your page pulled up if you want to share it. Got to get you one more. We got to get you one more sub. But yeah, sub up Kyle. Let's see if anybody who's here subbed them up. We'll go to Chris. So he hadn't gotten one yet. So let's try to get him there before we leave. We got 6 people in here. One person. He says, I got y'all heading over now. All right, get him, Geeky, get him there. So guess what? Boston Chris is here. If you guys can see that, he's at 399. 399. So Geeky, I know you're not subbed up to Chris because he probably hadn't done a video in a while. So sub up Chris, get him to that 400. So we got Uncanny Kyle Walker. We got him to 993. Thank you to Geeky Dad. So let's get Chris, my buddy. So 2 of my buddies, we can get them another. I'm happy we got Kyle at least another 1 sub. So let's get Chris 1 more sub as well to get him to 400. That's all I'm gonna ask for. So get him there. I don't know who's here. I see 5 people here. I'm actually subbed up to Chris. He said I'm actually. So
that's all
right.
One
of the other 4 or 5 people who are watching, if you guys are not subbed up to Chris, sub them up. I know we had.
And I'll say now, like for everybody who has subbed to me, like I do apologize for not doing more. It's just one of those things where I really just kind of fell out of. I used to do videos all the time, like at least weekly, and then when my daughter was born, she got sick, and then I just kind of took a step back from it, and I just never got into that same groove again. So it's one of those things where it's like I was making more content than what I was doing, and then I kind of just fell off of it. So I need to get back into doing it. I don't go to my shops as often as I normally do. I usually been buying a lot more from online and eBay and stuff like that because it's a little easier. But oh Jesus. New subscriber Scott Gibson.
Here we go. Scott Gibson. Scott, if you're in the chat.
400. I wish I had balloons.
All right, Scott Gibson, if you're in my chat right now, say something. Message me on IG, and I'll send you a little care package of some Venom. He says that's me.
Oh.
Geeky, that's you? You ain't getting no damn care package, man. You lied and said you would sub to him already.
No, he probably is a Geeky Dad, and then he came through as Scott Gibson. I'll take it.
There you go.
That works for me.
I'm not sending you nothing, Geeky. I thought it was a new somebody I don't know. He goes, Mark says, nice one, Chris. So congrats. We got Chris to 400. We got Kyle, an extra sub closer. So Uncanny Kyle Walker is actually 7 away from 1,000. I'm gonna do that every time we do this show until we get Kyle to 1,000. So I need to do it at probably when we get to like 10 people or more watching. I got to remember to do that. So if you guys are in the chat watching and you're here next time we do the show and you see the number go 10 or above, definitely shoot out the reminder to share Kyle's stuff, because I know that those 10 plus people who end up popping in here are not sub to him, and I would love to get him to 1,000 because he's a good buddy of ours. We used to talk like every day. Me, Chris, Kyle, and our buddy
Splash.
Splash and Evan. Like we all used to talk. Like I would say every other day at least, because
Yeah.
but it was 7 days in a week. We probably talked at least 4 days out of the week, at least at least 4 days, especially the weekend. It was like Friday, Saturday, and well, it was actually like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, definitely because Kyle was a day ahead of us, so it was Thursday
Yeah.
for us Thursday night, but it was Friday for him, and when it was Friday for us, he was available because he was already off of work, and so Friday, Saturday, all day he was like just chilling. So yeah, definitely appreciate everybody. Sub up Chris, sub up Kyle. Yeah, I'm gonna remove this, get back to this, and say everybody thank you, man. We're gonna head out again. Thank you, thumbs up. If you have any questions, any comments, leave it in the chat or in the comments. And yeah, appreciate everybody, man. I don't know if you got anything left to say, Chris, before I hit this intro.
Just thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.
Ended on that note. Peace, people.